Welcome to Commercial and Cocktails, Ivette Amidan, the mortgage diva herself. We're going to talk about how we can get into a multi-family apartment building, fourplex, with as little down payment as possible. So welcome, Ivette.
Thank you very much. I am happy to be here, Colt.
First off, this is my wife. She's a little mad at me today, so if it comes off weird, sorry.
So, this topic I was actually really excited to talk about because I do a radio show every Saturday, and a lot of calls that I get throughout my radio show, the multi-family unit is like a hot topic because a lot of people, once they become homeowners, then the next step is they want to become investors and they want to buy an investment property. And one of them is a fourplex or a duplex. But what they don't realize it's
Well, let's talk about that real quick.
Yeah.
So your radio show, you deal with really high-end people, but you also deal with...
I'm all over the place.
You're all over the place. And what I found with your people, especially when you're dealing with the Hispanic community, is they're really good at buying multi-units and living in them.
Yes.
And this is something that I've always told people, the biggest regret of my life is at 20 years old not buying a fourplex, living in it until I was married. I know a couple of people, we got an NFL player that still does this and makes a fortune off of it. But why would I tell these people the benefits of buying a fourplex first instead of going buying their first home? What's the benefits of doing that?
Because if you're going to live in one of the units, you can actually get in with very low down payment. If you use an FHA loan, let's start there. An FHA loan requires 3.5% down payment, but you have to live in one of the units, and then you rent out the rest.
So explain what FHA loan is.
FHA loan is a federal government loan, and it's insured by the government. You will pay mortgage insurance that is financed into the loan, and you will have mortgage insurance for the life of the loan. But it allows you to go into your property with 3.5% down payment as long as you occupy one of the units. And the cool thing about it is that, let's say you don't make that much income, but you can also use the income from the rest of the units to help you qualify.
So
and get into the property with 3.5% down.
FHA loans, what everybody assumes a first-time home buyer loan, which it's not. And is there such thing? I don't do a lot of single-family homes, but there's no such thing as a first-time home buyer loan, correct?
There isn't. It's used more for like marketing. A lot of realtors and loan officers like to use that for marketing purposes to drive in people because they just make it seem like if you're a first-time home buyer, I'm going to get you into a house.
So on an FHA loan, you can go 3.5% down payment.
Yes.
And you could buy a fourplex or a duplex or a triplex and actually live in one of them and rent out the rest.
And rent out the rest, correct.
So could you go then and buy another one with another FHA loan?
No, you can only do one FHA loan.
Okay.
Because the FHA loan has to be owner occupied.
So you get one FHA loan?
Yes.
And the reason why I tell a lot of people at the young age to go and use our FHA loan on a fourplex is because after you use your FHA loan, then you have to go into a conventional and go to an investment. And what's the down payments on a conventional and investment property? Say somebody bought a home for $200,000, they did their 3.5% down, so they're in it at $7,000 down payment. But they go buy a fourplex at $400,000, and now they have to put how much down if they've already used their FHA?
For a conventional loan, that's a good question because for a conventional loan, whether you're going to live in one of the units or it's going to be investment property, it's 25% down.
25% down.
Even if you're going to live in one of the units.
So if you'd have done 3.5% on $400,000, your down payment, sorry, my math's horrible, but $15,000?
Sure.
And if now you've already used your FHA, now you're going to go buy a fourplex as an investment. Now you're putting 20 or 25?
25% down.
So now you're putting $100,000 down.
Yes, $100,000
instead of $15,000 down.
Yes.
So that's why I always tell people, use your FHA loan, go live in it, because most of the time people are buying their first property, their first house, and they have roommates already. So
Correct.
You get your own space at that time where you don't have to share the bathrooms, you don't have to share the living room, you don't have to share the
you don't have to share anything.
Anything, which was always horrible. I had, some roommates that would live with me, and, it's just, we'd always be running on top of each other all the time when I was a young kid. So that's why I always tell people, look at a fourplex before you even buy your first home. So let's talk about the difference. Now, on commercial real estate, that a 5-plex or 6-plex becomes commercial real estate.
Okay.
Buying a single-family home, duplex, triplex, fourplex, is the same as just buying a regular home. So the loan is so much different on the commercial side of stuff. It's not about what you really make. There's a lot of factors. Sometimes they're 15 years, sometimes they're 20 years, higher interest rate, sometimes they balloon over it. But with a regular residential loan that you go buy a duplex, triplex, fourplex, are those just like a normal house loan? Do they go 30 years?
Yes, they're a normal house loan. You can go anywhere from 15, 20 to 30 years.
And they can be fixed income at that point.
Yes, fixed, with the fixed rate. And there is ARMs available, but yes, you can go with the 30-year fixed, 20-year fixed, yes.
Well, we're filming this 2021. Debt's so cheap, it'd be crazy to go ARM.
Yeah, exactly. So ARMs are not really popular right now, so yeah.
Yeah. So then let's ask about this. So if I bought a fourplex, how many loans can I get? I know in commercial you can get infinity loans as long as properties make sense, things go well.
You can get up to 10 loans.
So I could buy 10 fourplexes with regular traditional financing.
Yes.
And then after that, what do I have to do? Go hard money?
Most likely, yes.
Okay. What else do you see going on? Or sell, refinance,
cash out, exactly.
But it's funny because this is something that when I was young, I never really quite understood. When I was 18, 19, I was just doing commercial deals, not quite understand this. But the older I get, the more I realize this is what I should have done at first. But it's crazy because a lot of your clientele are very smart that way. These immigrants that have come over, the Hispanic community, I mean, it seems like I see that a lot. Do you see that a lot going on?
I do. Even, and it's crazy because even it could be a whole family, and they'll still start with a fourplex, and then move on. You do have to live in the fourplex if you get an FHA loan at least a year, and it'll still be an FHA loan, but your next loan would have to be a conventional if you want to buy.
But it's just a year.
A year, just 12 months on the property, and then you can move out of that fourplex and leave it as an FHA loan, but you just have to be there a year.
So if I'm 20 years old, buy a fourplex, find a girlfriend at 23, she doesn't want to live in the fourplex.
You can rent out that unit.
And go buy it.
Another
and then
house.
I could go take that investment and that income and use that
towards your next purchase, correct.
Interesting. This is why I always tell people, look at duplexes, triplexes, fourplexes for your first investment.
Yes, I agree.
All right. So since we're in Las Vegas, you're a lender. I love talking to people from Vegas because people make money the weirdest ways. Being in Vegas, what's the weird stuff you deal with? People getting loans.
Well, I once had an entertainer.
What we call entertainers in Las Vegas are gentlemen club dancers.
Yes, that created an LLC and created a business out of it, and it was a pretty smart move. And
they make good money.
She made really good money. She had all her ducks in a row, and she got a pretty big house.
That's amazing. Yeah, we're seeing a lot of that with the OnlyFans people now. People in Vegas make money the weird ways, and I love that about Vegas. I love that about being in our industry, especially you see more of what they truly do.
Yes.
We always get that. So
you just get all your paperwork together, create a business, establish an LLC, and just report your money, and you'll be able to buy.
So how does somebody reach out to you if they're interested in doing this?
I have a website, www.mortgagedealsandheals.com. Sell, email. Yeah.
Instagram,
Ivette Amidan.
Ivette Amidan.
Yes.
We'll put it up there for you. If you guys have questions on loans, you guys have questions on anything else, again, a lot of our stuff's on commercial, but this is just about investments, and investments are key. You should really have a good portfolio of investments, and it's not always the 50% down that you have to. I mean, there's so many ways to get into stuff, but any single family deal, duplex, triplex, fourplexes. And if you have questions, reach out to Yvette or we can answer some questions. But I really appreciate you taking the time. I know you're busy.
Thank you for the invitation. I'm very busy.
Not happy.
I am very happy to be here
today with me, but really appreciate if you have questions, reach out to us, and we appreciate you coming on, Yvette.
Cheers.
Salud.
Salud.